everybody. I just wanted to share the acoustic version of The Long and Winding Road by the Beatles. It's a great song, great chord progression. It's good for beginners if you want to learn how hard it is to use bar chords, but it's worth the pain in the end. Standard tuning, capo on the first fret, any chord that I refer to as a G, D, A, or whatever, it's as if this capo wasn't there. And any guitar terminology that I use that is not guitar teacher worthy or theoretically correct, you can leave a comment below and I'll never read it. So we're going to go through the song pretty quickly, I think. Verses 1, 2, and 3 are 100% alike. Verse number 4, the final one, it's like 98% the same. It's just you're canceling one chord out and you're just rearranging the other one. And then the middle 8 and the string section, those two parts are the same to each other. So we'll just go through real quick, just like I did in the intro. That's basically the whole song. So we're going to start off with the B minor, right? And then we're going to go to the G/A, which is... It looks like an F major or a C shape, but you just push it up to the 3rd fret, barring these bottom two, and then you're just completing the shape. So any guitar teacher, or most guitar teachers that I find, they don't ever explain the thumb on the back of the neck. So if you have a hard time doing this, like barring down this with these, I just for note, I put my thumb on the bottom section of the neck. That gives me the right amount of tension on the strings. If I'm doing an F sharp, it's right at the center of the neck where I'm basically pinching my thumb and my index finger, right? I mean, it's a comfort thing for everybody, but that's just how I do it. So anyway, we're at the B minor. To the G/A, and now your strumming begins in the chorus. Goes to a D, to a D7, to a G. Now the first G in every verse you hold to an F sharp, to a B minor. So if you notice that one, 2 to an F sharp to a B minor, 3, 4, and now it goes to an E minor, to an A7, and a C/D chord, which sounds like this. So it's a lot like the G/A you played, but this time what you're doing is you're putting your index finger on the bottom string, and then you're putting your ring finger and your pinky on the 5th fret on the G and D strings, and then you get this nice. Well, you actually you want to play the D, so that's good. So when you get that, you go back to the G, but you don't hold it this time. Second time that you get the G, it's a quick one to the G to the F sharp. So you go down to the B minor. Now you're going to go back to the E minor, to an A7, Asus4, and a D. So it's kind of quick, but it's very simple. So it's an E minor, and then when you go to the A7, which is like an A, but you're barring out this one. So A7, and the Asus4 is simply just whatever way that you do an A7, you just kick out that one, you kick out this note to the 3rd. So that's all you're left with. So you just get this nice little walk up to the D. And then after that D is played, you go back to the B minor, like you did at the very start of the song, and then you repeat. Rinse and repeat. So the first verse, let's go again. B minor to the G/A. And then the strumming begins on the D. To to a D7, to a G that you hold, to an F sharp, to a B minor. Now an E minor, A7, C/D. Back to the G, quick F sharp, to a B minor. From an E minor to an A7, Asus4, and a D. And then you go back to the very beginning. So that's verses 1 and 2. And at the end of the second verse is when the middle 8 begins, which is this. Like it's from the very beginning of the video. So you play that line 2 times before going on to verse 3, which is the same as verse 1 and 2, like I said before. Now, any beginner who couldn't see the fingering that I have there, this is just a D with the A note, the open A string here, and you play that all. So to a G, and then the D/F sharp. You can play it a couple different ways. I'm sure by now the vets already know. So the beginner guitar players, your bass note, the second fret on the E is your F sharp. So that's where it's getting its name from, D/F sharp. You're playing a D chord, but your bass note is the F sharp. So in the song, it asks, I guess how it was tabbed out, it asks for a full D with the bass note on the F sharp. If it's easier for you to do the index finger on the F sharp on the second fret, and then you're on the second fret G string. If you get that shape of the D string out, you can do it a whole bunch of different ways. But if you're comfortable doing it and you leave the high E open, I don't think anybody will care. I wouldn't. But I mean, hey, whatever. So it goes D to a G to a D/F minor to a quick E minor A7. Repeats itself, and when it comes back to the E minor A7 again, and still they lead me back. Right? So then that third verse will go through the same way verses 1 and 2 did. And then that middle 8 section that we just went over, you do it again. I think it's also 2 times. And then at the end of that E minor A7, it does the B minor again for the final verse to open that, which you'll go through the same way as verses 1, 2, and 3. It's just the last 2 lines. So when you're doing don't, F minor, B minor, last 2 lines, E minor to the A7, no Asus4, D. And then the very final line is that G/A that you've played the second chord in all the verses. You play that, and then you finish on a D. So the last 2 lines, without the A7 sus4, and just like that, Bob's your uncle, and you have an absolute banger for the campfire. If you like it, I really hope you like it, and if you didn't like it, I'm not too worried about you. But anyways, maybe I'll make another Beatles video down the road or another guitar tutorial, but we'll see. Take care. Have a great day.